Next was Caden Aiello, so they dyed a cat green and started making it dance, which would summon him. After 14 hours, he showed up, but then Ivan the Terrible was kidnapped by an anthropomorphic banjo playing banjo. Using Caden, they threw him at the banjo, which made him fall downstairs. The banjo got up and used its last trick, where newborn chickens started to plummet from the sky. They kicked the banjo and Caden into the sky, which cleared the skies, disintegrated the banjo, and landed Caden in the stadium. Cars 3 was next up, so they went to the HQ of Pixar and stole everything Cars 3 related. They realized that it was not enough, so they sucked up everything related to Cars 3 in the entire world. Still not enough, they went to the Cars universe and absorbed it. They repeated this process in over 50 other universes, and then combined everything into Cars 3. They then threw this back into the stadium. Tomatoes are what they need now, and a lot of them. They spent hours using all their powers to collect tomatoes from every multiverse in sight, before then starting an extremely powerful farm, using the energy of 600,000 multiverses. They used the energy from the tomatoes it produced to collect more multiverses, until they had a farm powered by 700 novemseptuagentillion multiverses. They used all of the tomatoes produced in 1 second, still an incomprehensibly large number, to combine into one super tomato, and after leaving this running for 17 hours they had 61,201 super tomatoes. They threw all the tomatoes to the stadium, before taking the farm back to their house. It can also be used for a lot more things than just making tomatoes. The original Super Mario Bros. Game was next, so they traveled to an identical copy of our universe but in the early 1980s, where they cut out Miyamoto's brain, and put it in a glass. There was a special fluid in this glass, where it sucked out everything in his brain about Mario. They then robbed him of the first copy, and put it with the Mario idea juices. They blended this together, and added the universe of the original Mario Brothers. They then threw this mixture to the stadium. Eggman was just about to be conscious again, but as it would turn out he is highly allergic to Miyamoto brain juices, so he was knocked out once more. The next thing to obtain was the special pencil. They went to the universe it was located in, but its specialty caused a shockwave that sent them flying into a rice farm in Oceania. They then decided to create an identical clone instead, so they called upon Jeremy, who was a master of cloning. He could create clones that are identical, or make clones without consciousnesses that can all be controlled by his consciousness. Using his mad skills, they created an exact replica of the special pencil. It was then stolen, so they took the thief and put him in another room where time works differently, and he can't die. They then waited a second, causing him to live in an empty room barely big enough to fit him while sitting down with nothing for over 700 years. They freed him, but he was very frail, so they looked at him the wrong way, and he was cremated. They then took the special pencil back to the stadium. Up next was Christopher Walken's left ear. They went to Christopher Walken, and attempted to cut off his left ear. They accidentally cut off the right, so they began to cut off the left. However, his left ear athletic training made it harder than any substance known to man, so they had issues. To solve this, they resurrected Van Gogh, the expert ear cutter, to lead him towards Lil Chris. The battle between Van Gogh's little remains and Christopher Walken's left ear shook the earth, but eventually Van Gogh won. He gave them the left ear, which was sent back to the stadium, and both of them were added to the coffee mug from earlier. The penultimate challenge in this adventure was to obtain the Wanna Break from the ad's ad, or WTA for short. They transformed their consciousnesses into digital forms, and entered Spotify. They waited for the WTA, and when it came up they glitched the screen to freeze it. They entered their physical bodies, and stole the copyright to the ad. They then took the copyright, uploaded it onto another tab on the device with WTA. They then throw this onto the stadium. Finally, it was time for the final thing linked to the prophecy. The musical power of Friendship Sword. They found out, using the higher-ups technology, that it was in a powerful temple-like universe where it blocked their powers. They entered this universe, and in a world shrouded in mystery and legends, the Legion embarked on a perilous quest to explore an ancient, long-forgotten temple, rumored to be filled with deadly traps and enigmatic puzzles. As the group approached the temple's towering entrance, adorned with intricate carvings and symbols, a sense of awe and trepidation washed over them. Led by their fearless leader, Sir Jamacian Tide Pod, the Legion cautiously stepped into the dark corridors of the temple, their torches casting flickering shadows on the walls. The first trap they encountered was a pressure-sensitive floor, embedded with ancient glyphs. The group's keen eyes and sharp instincts allowed them to navigate through the maze-like corridor, avoiding the tiles that triggered dart traps and hidden pitfalls. With each step, their confidence grew, and their determination to uncover the temple's secrets deepened. They soon reached a massive chamber filled with suspended blades swinging to and fro. With synchronized precision and acrobatic agility, the Legion members carefully timed their movements, ducking, leaping, and rolling beneath the deadly pendulums. It was a display of trust, as they relied on each other's guidance and support to reach the other side unscathed. Venturing further, they encountered a chamber filled with a swirling mist that obscured the path ahead. Determined not to be deterred, the Legion utilized their resourcefulness, tying ropes to each other for guidance and protection. They slowly advanced, feeling their way through the dense mist until they emerged into an open courtyard bathed in sunlight. In the heart of the temple, they discovered a colossal statue, guarding a hidden chamber. The statue was adorned with intricate details and glowing gemstones, emanating an aura of power. Solving a series of riddles and deciphering ancient inscriptions, the Legion unlocked the entrance to the hidden chamber, their excitement mounting. Inside, they discovered crumbling walls adorned with faded hieroglyphics. A pressure plate triggered a mechanism, causing the floor to collapse into a pit of sharpened spikes. The Legion members, ever vigilant, skillfully navigate their way across the unstable ground, using their knowledge and experience to identify safe paths. As they ventured deeper into the temple, the challenges intensified. An intricate maze of shifting walls tested their spatial awareness and problem-solving skills. Each member carefully mapped the patterns, guiding their companions through the complex labyrinth. The next obstacle was a hall of suspended blades, swinging ominously from the ceiling. The Legion had to time their movements precisely, evading the deadly pendulums with swift reflexes and calculated steps. The tension rose with each narrow escape, but their unwavering focus kept them one step ahead of the traps. Further into the temple, they encountered a chamber filled with hidden pressure plates. Each step had to be deliberate and precise, as a misplaced foot could trigger cascading boulders or release a torrent of darts. The Legion members coordinated their movements, relying on trust and communication to traverse the treacherous path. Finally, after facing countless trials, they reached the inner sanctum of the temple. A massive, ancient door stood before them, adorned with intricate carvings. The Legion deciphered the riddles inscribed on the door, revealing the sequence required to unlock it. With a collective effort, they turned the ancient key, and the door creaked open. In the final test, they were scanned. It was decided that they were true friends that had the power of music, revealing the fabled tupoffs, which they returned to the stadium. Upon returning to the stadium, the pillar shrunk into the floor as the whole universe collapsed in on itself, Legion included. They then heard a voice telling them that the danger that the prophecy warned of was here, but the prophecy had been successful, and given them the power needed. They regained their vision, all combined as Legion, seeing the behemoth, his deodorant, standing in front of them. The Higher was notified of this danger, who had apparently partnered with an unknown entity known as Lanreet to gain power stronger than the Hires. The Higher combined with Legion, absorbing as many universes' powers as they could, as they readied themselves. His deodorant shrieked, and the battle began. In the vast expanse of the multiverse, where dimensions intertwined and realities collided, two ancient and powerful eldritch gods emerged from the depths of cosmic chaos. They were his deodorant, the embodiment of primordial darkness, and Legion, the embodiment of infinite light. As their colossal forms clashed, the fabric of existence trembled, and celestial energies surged around them. His deodorant wielded the forces of entropy and oblivion, seeking to plunge all creation into eternal darkness. Legion, on the other hand, harnessed the energies of creation and order, striving to maintain harmony and balance across the multiverse. Their battle raged across countless realms, ripping through celestial planes and shattering dimensions. Omniverse exploded, and parts of the Sophovers collapsed in the wake of their cataclysmic clash. The very essence of reality strained under their immense powers, threatening to unravel the tapestry of existence itself. With every strike, his deodorant unleashed torrents of darkness, engulfing entire parts of the Sophovers and extinguishing the light of countless worlds. But Unilegion, a beacon of resplendent radiance, fought back with beams of pure luminosity, pushing back the encroaching shadows and reigniting hope in the hearts of beings across the cosmos. Their battle escalated to unimaginable heights, with cosmic storms swirling around them and celestial bodies converging in a symphony of destruction. Both gods were locked in a timeless struggle, each refusing to yield, knowing that the fate of the Sophovers hung in the balance. As months passed, and the clash reached its climax, the very concept of time distorted and fractured. His deodorant and Unilegion unleashed their ultimate forms, transcending the limitations of mortal comprehension. His deodorant became a swirling vortex of pure darkness, while Unilegion radiated with blinding brilliance. In a final cataclysmic clash, their energies collided, creating an explosion that echoed throughout the entirety of the Sophovers. The shockwave rippled across dimensions, tearing through realities and shattering areas of the Sophovers. The multiverse itself trembled, as if holding its breath, awaiting the outcome of this cosmic struggle. Then, in a blinding flash of light, darkness and light merged into a swirling maelstrom of opposing forces. His deodorant and Unilegion became one, their essences merging, creating a new entity, a being of balance and harmony. The deity, bearing the essence of all beings involved, restored equilibrium to the Sophovers. Light and darkness, good and evil, truth and lies, beginnings and ends, found equilibrium, and order was restored. With their cosmic battle concluded, restored, all damage caused ever since one of its consciousnesses, Sir J, went on that trip to India. Memories were kept the same, as the higher-ups of the Sophovers absorbed their headquarters into this being, so that they could continue to manage the Sophovers. Chuck Norris finally agreed to become a part of this new hive mind. They looked into the Lanreet figure who had given his deodorant the immense power to reach them after Chuck kicked him, but all they could find out was that in some way he knew the mysterious Darkmoral figure who had given them the prophecy. They seemed to be enemies, perhaps as a strange parallel to the Legion and his deodorant. It was also found out that if not for the prophecy, Unilegion would have been instantly absorbed by his deodorant, who could then aid Lanreet in casting the Sophovers to total destruction. His deodorant was technically still alive in the new hive mind, albeit at a state where he could never affect the universe again. They went back to their multiversal house, and greatly improved upon it. They decided to settle down by moving their house to a place that the higher suggested, a universe known as the Summoning Game. As it would turn out, this was the same universe with Jonald and Australian Batman Sir J++ visited earlier. They were sure that it was fine, and on the inside of the hive mind it was like its own universe where all the different consciousnesses could interact and control. As the only proper way to end this chapter of their lives, they played corny clean music from the 90s, and threw a dance party.